were to ask the average person which card skill they would like to learn or which flourish they would like to be able to do, it has to be this flourish. And that's springing the cards from one hand to the other. I make a joke, the magicians make a joke, calling this the Soviet Union shuffle, one card Russian after another. It's not good for anything except showing off. It has no function. It doesn't shuffle the cards. People make a mistake when they practice this shuffle, or this flourish, I mean, and that is that they try to use too many cards to start. And what happens is the cards explode, go all over the floor, and you spend most of your time picking cards up off the floor. So I make one major suggestion, which is that you sit down and practice over a table, and two, that instead of starting with one deck, you start with one card. And here's the secret of the flourish. You actually put the card at the intersection of the first, of the knuckle of the thumb, and between the three fingers of the hand, again by the first intersection of the index finger. Now, most people think that the cards are being pushed out or thrown. In fact, they're being squirted out. And you actually, two things are happening. Your thumb is actually opening, and your fingers are actually opening as you apply forward pressure. And it's almost like squirting a pumpkin seed when you were a kid and you squirt that pumpkin seed out. And here's what happens. You have to get this action down first, and once the cards become used or really soft, it makes it more difficult. And you really want to get used to being able to do that, and just pop the card out. And once you can pop the card out, then you'll prove what really happens by using two cards. The cards don't fall out of your hand and drop because of gravity. They're actually squirted one card at a time. One card at a time. And once you can do this, you're really on your way to doing a full deck, but you go to 3 cards. And you should be able to make 1, 2, 3 cards pop, and 1, 2, 3 cards pop. Even if it's very quick, 3 cards. And once you can learn that, then you add another card, and you keep progressing. And you'll notice that even though I'm using more cards, they're still only going 1 card at a time. And even if I drop them, I don't have that far to go to pick them up. And the thing to remember is that each card actually comes out of your hand individually. They don't come out in clumps. Now, the other mistake that a lot of people make when they're trying to learn this flourish is to put their hands too far apart. And what happens is the cards just kind of fly all over everywhere. So you want to keep your hands fairly close as you're learning to get the feel of releasing those cards 1 card at a time. Once you get to an entire deck, you're going to notice that air is actually entering in between the cards as they leave your hand, which is going to be interesting when we get to the second flourish, because for some of the flourishes you want to put air in between the cards before they leave your hand. Well, during this Russian shuffle, the cards actually get air as they leave the hand. Now, once you've practiced, and I can't stress how important it is that you practice 1 card and then 2 and 3 and progress all the way up, and put your hands kind of close together as you practice, and you're going to get the feeling of actually squeezing and kind of opening at the same time. It's kind of an unusual thing to say, but you squeeze, oops, sorry. You actually squeeze and open at the same time. And that's the Russian shuffle. Once you get that practiced, then you can put your hands further apart, up to, I don't know, 1.5 feet, maybe even 2 feet away. When you're going to when you're going to do that from a greater distance, sometimes you have to squirt the cards a little faster so that they don't, so they don't fall all over the place. And once you're comfortable seated, and then you can stand up and try this. And this one really scares away the squares. When they walk up to your game and you say, "Why don't you and I play some cards, pal?" And you start doing this. And that's the Russian shuffle.